Hey, what's up? John Sonmez here from simpleprogrammer.com. And today I have a question. This is a good one. It's not what you think. I wish it was different than this, but the title is really, really good. It's from Stefani stuff. I think it's Stefani. It's either Stephanie or Stefani. I'm going to go with Stefani. Stefani is okay, he says. Is okay. Stefani is okay. Looks or technical merits for career. That's the title, right? But it's not what you think, like I said. But it's still good. So he says, hi, John. What is the better career move? Choosing a job in a company/project which looks appealing, good reputation, big name, shiny startup, big project, but technically not great. Using old tech or not so sexy company/project, but using a lot of great new tech. To which point? Not taking responsibilities here, just technical skills. Is it worth quitting for the first or the second? So I'll add some of the background he has. I think I have both on my resume, and it feels like people/interviewers care more about shiny company, no matter what I did there, than the other company where I worked on the latest tech and did a lot of cool things with it. So sometimes to the point where I can feel them bored right when I say the name of the company. I thought you needed to work with new tech to help your career, but just having a good name on the resume seems to help more. I'm actually trying to make a career decision facing the situation, choosing between sexy story with little technical interest or experience on a great tech, not so sexy. Not so sexy. Okay, so I got a couple thoughts on this. So you've stumbled on an important fact of life, my friend, which is that looks matter, which is that the world is superficial, right? Which is that appearances are sometimes more important at a surface level than actual content in depth. Gosh, it makes me sick to think that we live in such a world. We should just burn everything down, right, and pick it. I'm sorry, that's how it is, right? That's how life is. So where does that leave us? And I'm being a little bit sarcastic, but there's truth. There's truth to this, right? So I mean, don't judge a book by its cover, but everyone does judge a book by its cover. If you want a best-selling book, you got to have a good cover. By the way, want a book with a good cover? No. You can check out my Complete Software Developer's Career Guide. I spent a lot of money and time on that cover in order to maximize the sales of it, because it does matter, right? So where do we go here? So there's a few different ways to think about this and to talk about this, right? So you're right. Probably if you have a Microsoft on your resume or a LinkedIn or a Google or an Apple, people are going to assume that you're brilliant just because you got in there, right? If you have a Harvard law degree, that's probably pretty good than some other random university. Okay, so the question becomes, right? Do you wear the Prada bag, the Gucci's, right? Do you get the Prada shoes, or the designer brand? How much do you value the functionality, the value of a thing versus the appearance of it? And this is a tough question, right? I mean, this is definitely something that you have to think about in your career, but you have to realize that people's perceptions are mostly what's going to rule the day. So in my opinion, right, if I'm trying to rise up the ranks in the corporate ladder, honestly, I'm going for the looks over the tech. I mean, I'm learning the tech on my own. I'm trying to get the best of both worlds, right? So just because, and I worked at some kind of big shiny companies. I worked at HP. It used to be shinier than it is. Now it's not so shiny, but you get a certain amount of respect if you worked at HP, if that's on your resume, because it's a big, Fortune 500 company. At least it was a major player at one time. It's not as much anymore. But when I worked there, sometimes we'd work on some pretty crappy tech, okay? And it wasn't the cutting edge stuff, it wasn't the latest and greatest stuff, but I kept up to date. I did side projects, right? I've done some videos on doing side projects, which you can check out here, but I kept up to date on that because I know that I'm responsible for my own education in my career, right? So I chose, maybe you choose the shiny company, but you keep up on the latest technology yourself so that you're cutting edge. You do a side project, you do stuff like that, right? Now, not everyone is going to judge, judge something based on the name, right? But I'll tell you that like having a Google or an Apple or a Facebook or whatever on your resume, that's going to benefit you in your career. It absolutely is. It's going to make it really easy for you to get any job you want in the future. It's true. It's a good career move to do that, right? So, but you only really need one of those darlings on there, right? I mean, once you have the Harvard law degree, once you have the Harvard law degree, it doesn't matter. You don't need to get, Princeton and Yale on there too, or, Professor Emeritus at Oxford University. It doesn't matter, okay? You don't need all of those things. Yes, you'd have a strong resume if you had Google, Facebook, and Yahoo on there. Maybe not Yahoo, but maybe, I don't know. But you don't need to collect all these things, right? Again, you're going out. I'll give you a good example. You're going out in Vegas, right? You don't have to have an entire wardrobe of Armani suits. You just need one, right? Well, you go out for a night. You got some Prada shoes and Armani suit or whatever. You look like $1 million, okay? But you don't have to have it. You don't have to have a whole wardrobe. You don't have to spend $200,000 on a wardrobe, right? If you see what I'm saying? And that's the same thing when you go to an interview. When you go to an interview, you're just going in there one time to impress them, right? And then that's it. So don't devote your whole career in looking shiny. That's silly. That's ridiculous. That doesn't have any substance. But don't neglect at the same time that people are superficial and that they're going to judge by names and that the shiny is going to appeal and attract. So have your one Armani suit, right? You see what I'm saying? That's your nice tailored fitted suit, and when you go out on the town or you go to a wedding or whatever you're doing, go and wear that and you'll look sharp and you'll look pristine. But don't invest your whole life and everything on all of that stuff, right? You see what I'm saying? Again, so that's what I would say here, and recognize that it's still up to you to develop your technical skills, right? So no matter what job that you're at, right, it's still up to you. So spend the time, regardless of whatever job you're at, that you invest in your future, in your education, and you're always learning, and you'll have the best of both worlds. That's how I would mix this, right? Other people might play it differently. If you're highly skilled technically, if you have built your own reputation online and stuff like that, then maybe you don't care as much. If you're not going to be a career developer, if you're like, I just want to make some money and learn, and then I'm going to build my own business, then don't worry about the Google or the Apple and pick the technology that's going to serve you best. That's going to, right? There's different paths in life. But if you're climbing the corporate ladder, you probably want to have a little bit of shiny on there. It probably would help you. If you're worried about job security, it's going to help you some, right? Ultimately, though, you got to have the skills to pay the bills. That's what it's going to take. So, don't sacrifice. Like I said, don't sacrifice here and just get the veneers, right? Okay, because you're gonna have problems in the future if you do that. All right, that's all I got for you today. If you have a question for me, you can email me. You can email me at john@simpleprogrammer.com, and I will try to answer your question. And it will probably come in the form of a YouTube video. Also, make sure you click the subscribe button below. Click the bell to make sure that you don't miss any videos. And I'll talk to you next time. Take care.